So far this year we have reviewed plenty of drivers, and the driver I've been currently using has had plenty of comments for one certain thing. And that is exactly how that club sounds. But yet again there, a towering high draw straight down the middle of stroke index 1 here. Now I'm using the Tacomo Ignis D1 driver. We do have a shorter shaft in here, but it's now time to talk what driver is going into my bag for 2025. Can this driver, that is a makeshift driver, be beaten? I have two options and one of them will certainly surprise you. But first up for a contender is the Wilson Dynapower Carbon. 9-degree driver. For me, this was fitted by the guys at Wilson up at Dundonald Links. We do have a Ventus Velocore shaft in here. We have a stiff flex and we have a 50-gram light shaft. This was exactly the fitting that I got for this club. So this should be perfect numbers. But how will it compare to that Ignis driver? And you'll have just seen on screen a bit of a montage of the drives I hit here a couple of days ago with that Ignis driver, because it's one that I've been consistent with, it's one that I've been confident with, and it's one for me, even though it's got a shorter shaft, I've actually struck it closer to the middle and the distance has been over 300 yards when I've been out playing, and it's still been going as far as James Robinson's driver, technically past it. But differences with this driver. And straight away there, a different ball flight. So it is 9 degrees on the head, but we have lofted that up slightly to 10 degrees. So 0.5 away from that Tacomo. But straight away there, a miss hit. So very interesting. As soon as I've gone to a longer shaft, I've slightly misstruck that, but that could be one swing. I'm going to hit another one here. Get one out of the middle. Because there, that's turning nicely around this dog leg. But straight away there, a carbon top on here, and it's a carbon top on the Tacomo driver. So very interested there. They both still sound a little bit louder than you would say from your TaylorMades and your Callaways. Even maybe Ping. Maybe not so much Ping, because we know they have a more traditional Ping sound. But straight away for me there, we're starting to get a little bit more offline with this driver. Although I've thoroughly enjoyed testing this driver, I've not found the strike straight away. Head size, pretty similar to that Tacomo. But just up the right there, drawing back slightly. Straight away there, longer shaft. Maybe it's not performing as well as that Tacomo. And price point here, we've got $449 for the Wilson. So around about £100 cheaper than your other drivers, your Callaways, your TaylorMades and your Pings. But around about £80 more than that Tacomo. So after all, is the Tacomo the right club? It's the cheapest one of the lot. This was right up there. We will be getting numbers shortly. But the next driver is certainly going to get some comments. So the next driver up is the Srixon ZXi LS driver. So one that I've never tested. I've never tested a Srixon driver until I tried this a couple of weeks ago. So very interesting. Again, it is not down the traditional route. It is not a carbon top. It is not a carbon driver. So the sound might be something we need to talk about with this, which we certainly did in the review. And that sound right there is what we're talking about, but that ball flight is exactly what I saw when I tested this the first time. A solid penetrating ball flight and out of the middle. Consistent straight away. I was performing well with this. I was enjoying it. I was finding the middle of the face, and it was the longest club that I tested inside. So it has got the best numbers in the studio. We got over 300 yards twice with this driver. We know that it's got a standard length shaft in there. We know the Tacomo is a little bit shorter, but dispersion was just as good with this driver, and the length was probably a little bit more. And again, a penetrating ball flight, the Tiger line there, and easily carrying those bunkers on stroke index 1, as you'll see by the flyover. So consistency in flight, consistency in distance is something that this Srixon does. Have you tested this Srixon? Would you put any of the Srixon range in your bag? And is the sound something we need to worry about? Because after all, has carbon got as far as it can? Is titanium going to come back round? Is it going to be the whole circle and come back to this? Because for me, I would say this is the best performing driver of the year. The Wilson was right up there, but for me, this sits well behind the golf ball. I don't mind the sound, but I love the performance, because that is possibly the worst strike I could have there. And looking down there, that's gone the identical distance as a well struck one. So forgiveness is still there even in an LS model. We've got movable weights, we've got a totally different sound that I'm used to. After all, I don't care about the sound if I hit fairways and lower my scores. So up here, Dave has just picked up the first Wilson, which is a little bit shorter. He's moving up to that Srixon, which is further up. But over here on the right hand side, again, we have the misstruck Wilson there. We then have the misstruck Srixon. Interesting enough, up there we have the Tacoma, and just past it we have the Srixon, by the looks of it, neck and neck. So very interesting there. But then the other Wilson is there in the tree, so it's actually gone a little bit further than I thought. So into the trouble, that's more the line that it went on than the golf ball or the driver itself. But those are competing. Let's see some numbers. So if we talk the data on the D1 there, we've got 281 yards the average carry and 300 total. You can see extremely consistent there with this shorter length driver, or the makeshift mini driver. 2,500 spin, which is exceptionally good for me. I've always had too much spin, but we can also see that deviation, extremely consistent, exactly what I've seen down the fairways here at Lindrick and over courses all over on the next 100. But what will the Wilson do? So if we talk the numbers there for the Wilsons, we can see 5 yards up on that carry, 286.3, ball speed ever so slightly up, total distance 305, so again 4 yards up there, 2,250 spin. And we can see again consistent ball flights, but that deviation has leaked a little bit out to the right for me. The deviation has got a little bit wider, but what will that Srixon do? Unfortunately there guys, I did the classic trick of I forgot to screen record, so you can see that the numbers are now on screen. So 290 average carry, 309.5 total, 2,900 spin, so a little bit more spin from this LS driver, which is very interesting. And we can also see dispersion has also come in, so deviation we will see is down at 12.1, so we know that is going to be the best deviation out of the three. Consistency wise, you can see there by the shots, down the middle ever so slightly drawing, a good ball flight, the longest carry, and the last shot on itself was a 297.2 yard carry, 317 total. The longest driver for me this year. Let's get back out on that golf course. So interesting numbers there from those three drivers. We can see obviously consistency might have been a struggle with this driver. This wasn't the most consistent in the Wilson. Again, price wise, pretty good. The changes on there I've got, I do like it. I do like the look. The performance is good, but it's just the other two drivers are performing a little bit better for that dispersion, and after all, that is what we're trying to achieve. One driver is slightly cheaper, one driver is slightly more, but Wilson have certainly upped their game this year, and I'd have it right up there. So that is a nice high towering draw into the right half of that fairway, and this is what we've seen. It does perform well, it would be up there, but the other two just pip it. So let's go for the Srixon. Let's go in now. Dave's, look at this is unbelievable work from Dave in the background. Dave's in here now. Srixon up next, and this is for you to decide, guys, in the comments. Would that noise put you off? You saw the consistency with it, we've seen the distance with it. Which one would you choose for me in my golf bag? Should it be that one right there, the new second version cowbell that's found another fairway, or should it be the one we all know, the Ignis D1? Which one would you have in my golf bag, guys? Which one do you think I should be using? Get in those comments below and let me know. Another towering draw, even just up the left hand side. A loud sound, but performing well. All three fantastic options, all three different price points. Which one should I put in my bag, and which driver are you going for this year?